there's a lot of change in terms of technology, in terms of applications, functions that the customers have. Customers we're looking at the public cloud, looking at the hybrid cloud, dedicated systems, new software as service applications, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and they need to make decisions. They need to build a roadmap for their companies and where they need to go and what their customers need. And Proterra will be there with them to be their trusted advisor in order to allow them to make the right choices. Their applications can run on our private cloud, or they can run in the best public cloud platforms available in the world.
So Protera FlexBridge is a service platform, and it's becoming more and more of a tool set. When I say tool set, it's a suite of tools that we have built using SAP's products for doing upgrades, conversions, and migrations. So this suite of tools is going to provide the full lifecycle management of what SAP calls methodology for an S/4HANA or a HANA migration. So we can do a discovery and do a full technical assessment at first, looking at any steps that have to be remediated before that migration would be performed. And then with the customer's input, we will actually create a roadmap. So we'll have a session, it's usually a half-day session, we'll bring in our experts, we can do it virtually, and we can discuss what the customer's roadmap, and even do some fine-tuning if they have questions on how best they should go to cloud, how best they should bring in some of the new SAP technology. And so we can provide that as a service for the customer so they can better align with SAP's roadmap. And then the next phase, if they're looking to do S/4HANA, which a lot of our customers are, is the prepare phase. And that is where we actually take a thorough analysis of what the application that they have in ECC today, how it's performing, their usage, the security aspect, and look at all the configuration. And we will actually create an analysis and a recommendation of what is the work list that either the customer or their system integrator is going to do to migrate their systems into S/4HANA. And then the tool set will do the full automation of the migration itself. So this considers using SAP certified tools to migrate, upgrade, and convert the data into public cloud even, or on-premise. And it will do that as the shortest term possible. So we can do a 2 terabyte system in about 12 hours downtime. So we can easily fit that in within a migration weekend. And then lastly, we do a deploy and run, which is getting ready for go live and deploy. And the run phase is our managed services with the AppCare platform. So we can make sure from end to end, we can do that migration, cover any customer concerns, making sure that the migration is going to run risk-free as fast as possible. Protera FlexBridge provides technical advantages of shortening the downtime, which is a paramount consideration in any migration effort. Typically, we can do a 2 terabyte system in 12 hours. So the importance to that is we can then allow enough time for testing and even enabling some sophisticated HA or DR scenarios to be set up on that go live weekend. So big technical benefits is the automation of the migration that shortens the end-to-end processing, as well as especially that downtime period. And then also the automation of those best practices to put it into software, so all those questions that we know that have to be asked and considered for every migration, that is done within the FlexBridge platform. And lastly, I'll also say, I think this has become more and more important as there's many migrations happening at the same time, and that is the concurrency that you can run multiple SAP migrations at the same time through our software. So you don't have to have 5 or 6 experts on that go live weekend ready to do the migration. We can have the software help and assist the basis resources do it. So to request a Protera FlexBridge assessment to kick off the process, you can register on our website. You go under Protera.com. There's a link under migration, and you can get some high-level information on what I just discussed here. And from there, there's a starter page essentially where you can register. You put your name, your company, email, and how soon you'd like the assessment to be done. And once that gets registered, we'll send the code to you, either the source code itself, or we can do a transport. It's easily consumed by the system, and then you can run the report, which generates a text file, and you send that back to us. We prefer for every system in the landscape that to be done, and it's within a few days we'll have that report back to you.
We look at the SAP workload as the cornerstone to the enterprise. And what we find is that a lot of our customers that run SAP have a tremendous amount of other landscapes. And we find in most cases, a customer has a workload somewhere, whether it's in Office 365 for email or wherever it may be, or maybe they leverage a Redshift in AWS, other services that span across multiple clouds. So the interesting thing is that we can provide a turnkey solution for our SAP customers, but it's really based on their specific workloads and their use cases. So we have the ability, again, to provide that hybrid landscape or that hybrid approach to connecting the cloud platforms based on the customer's workload and their use cases and what really makes the most sense for that particular customer. The majority of customers really like the idea of cloud, but don't have a tremendous amount of experience in running cloud. So Proterra has put together a solution that we call the Cloud Plus platform. And that Cloud Plus really allows us to simplify the use of AWS or Azure or any of those other public clouds. And it provides services on top of it that are high value. For example, if you enable what we call our Cloud Plus services, Proterra is able to very simply add additional services, whether it's OS support, backup support. But there's some really cool things that come along with the Cloud Plus solution, like managed resiliency. Managed resiliency for us is a very unique approach to building a resilient platform in the cloud. So for example, in a public cloud environment, we actually take a customer's system and we replicate and also do snapshots across multiple availability zones. What does that mean for the customer? At the end of the day, they basically have disaster recovery built in. If there's a catastrophic event within one of the availability zones, I'm replicated across multiple availability zones, and I can rapidly bring a system back up online for a customer very simply, and this is all just a standard part of our Cloud Plus solution. We offer it as point solutions for our customers that really look for an entry point into cloud. So maybe today they're not really ready for a public cloud move, but they're looking for some workloads or some use cases where they can actually get out there, try the public cloud, get a feel for it, see whether they like it or not. But one of the really cool things with the Proterra Recovery as a Service offering is that for a customer that actually leverages this disaster recovery solution, they can immediately use it as snapshots to create new systems for doing testing, sandbox, training, new projects that they want to roll out. All of those things can be very, very quickly snapped off of this disaster recovery solution. They only pay for it as they need it. And secondarily, one of the really interesting things is that we get customers that want to start with this disaster recovery as a service. And next thing you know, they say, we love it. We've tried it. We want to continue to move more workloads. I can actually fail them over to their disaster recovery side, and I have them up and running in a productive landscape based on just a very simple toe in the water approach to disaster recovery.